the championship season has come to a close, but the small matter of the playoffs are still to be had. Today, we're going to take a look at the semi-finals, first legs out the championship. Here they come. Next. Right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we take a look at the old championship playoffs, first legs, semi-finals, whatever. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we take a look at the old championship semi-final playoffs, first legs, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to keep you back up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers, championship related, world football related. We're going to know here under one Rooski. That's right, of course, only 3 games left for 4 teams to decide who's going to be Premier League bound. Of course, we're going to take a look at the first legs in just 1 second. If you're new, of course, check out the details down below. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon if you want to support the channel in another way. And a big shout out to those VIP patrons for supporting the channel. Also, make sure you take note of the Discord. That's free to enter. Get stuck in there. A good chance for you to chat over the post-season, talk about the future, any transfer rumours, all that kind of stuff. You can get in amongst it down below. Okay, folks, now before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'm going to have a bit of a disclaimer here for you. Of course, we're going to give you a mini preview now of the semi-final first legs of these championship matches, of course. And then in the next video, in the semi-final second legs, that's when I bring you bang up to date with the prediction, which, of course, we'll take a look back at the results from the last full day of fixtures, and, of course, any results or any predictions that you did put in this video, of course. So make sure you get your picks in for this one, but we're going to have a little talk about the 2 teams heading into this, and in the first semi-final, it'll be Bournemouth up against Brentford. That's right, of course, taking place. Is it this coming Monday? That's right, of course. Anyway, let's take a look at the nitty-gritty between these two sides. They've played each other 22 times since 2003, winning 8 apiece. There's actually been 6 draws between the two sides. Of course, the biggest win though for Bournemouth over Brentford over the years has been a 3-1 win. On the flip side though, Brentford have recorded a 6-0 win over Bournemouth at some stage over the past 20 years, something like that. Of course, in total though, Brentford scoring 28 goals over Bournemouth, with them returning with 24 on average, so 1.09 games a goal, a goal per game ratio for Bournemouth over Brentford. On the flip side, they scored 1.27 goals over them heading into this, of course. Brentford though haven't lost in the last 12 games. They're also got a winning streak of 3 matches on the road, whereas Brentford have actually got also a winning streak of 4 matches in total. They come into this in pretty good form as well, with unbeaten in the last 6 games compared to Bournemouth winning 3 and losing 3 heading into this, of course. Let's take a look at the recent encounters between these two sides, of course. Stretching back over the last 6 occasions, there's been 2 wins for Bournemouth over Brentford, 3 wins for them, and been 1 draw. That's both home and away, of course. This season, of course, the pleasure at Brentford was a 2-1 win for Brentford. Also, Brentford won the return leg in Bournemouth with a 1-0 win as well. So, of course, favourable advantage perhaps for Brentford anyway, psychological advantage anyway. Let's take a look at the last 6 in Bournemouth, of course, with these two sides, of course. So Bournemouth just losing the once at the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. So the last 5, they've only lost the once. That was, of course, back in April. This is not too long ago as well. One of the final games, if not the final game of the season, perhaps. I don't even know. So 1-0 win for Brentford. They did lose a man then, Pontus Janssen. So I don't know if that's going to affect. That wasn't the last game. It was a couple of games back, so he should be back. Well back before then. So I think Brentford will have the psychological advantage in this over the doubleheader. Of course, let's take a look at the statistics now. Of course, for the two sides, Ivan Toney, of course, running away with it, the Golden Boot as well for the championship, scoring 30 goals in 45 matches. Of course, Sergio Canales is the second highest top goal scorer, which is a surprise, with Brian Mbemba with 8. Marcus Forss got himself 7 goals as well, as you work further down. Of course, as for the opposition, Arnaud Danjuma is getting a lot of attention, of course, from the Premier League. Of course, if he doesn't make it themselves with Bournemouth, I'm sure he'll get snapped up as well. Dominic Solanke also got himself 15 goals this season, with Junior Stanislas got himself 9 as well. So pretty savvy goals return here, more spread around the field for the Bournemouth side. As for Brentford, they are relying, of course, on Toney scoring the goals, but they, of course, been there, done it last season. Can they get over the line this time around, of course? Let's take a look at their form heading into this. We're looking at the home versus away form. This is Bournemouth's home form. It's back-to-back defeats for them at home, losing to Brentford, of course, we talked about that briefly, and also lost to Stoke. In fact, the past 2 games at home, they haven't scored a goal. On the flip side, Brentford's away form has been absolutely fantastic, winning 4 games in the past six occasions, of course, and actually unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 3 wins on the bounce. They'll fancy the chances as well. Of course, the table standings, of course, it doesn't really, it's meaningless now. Just kind of a bit of a sort of indication as to where they finish. Of course, Brentford were the unlucky runners-up there. Or is the bridesmaid never the bride? Or will they be the bride this time around, finishing 87 points, with Bournemouth finishing in 6 on the decline as well. So we'll have a look at that. Of course, the journey, the hollow square is Brentford's journey, starting off a 15th, a gradual rise, and eventually around about match number 14-15, they got into the playoffs and pretty much made it their own. Then, of course, and unfortunately, they dipped out of the top two around about match 28-29, and then they never really bounced back. To be fair, they've been stuck in third for the long haul. As for Bournemouth, they started off strong, up into top two for a while, then they dipped, they lost their manager, changed it up a little bit, and then they ended up dipping out of the playoffs, and they looked like they were going to be out of there for my eyes. I thought they weren't going to make it, but they held on, eventually finishing in 6, only just, of course. The bookies odds on this one, I'll tell you a quick look at this. Of course, 70-10 is your Bournemouth on this one, 31-20 is your Brentford, and 12-5 is your draw on this. Of course, for me, I'm going to go with a cheeky, what am I going to go with? I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. I think Brentford will not lose this game. I could put my money on that one, just to say that. I think they'll come back for the second leg and maybe do it over on them next time around, of course. So 1-1 in the end on that one. Next up in the second semi-final, it'll be Barnsley up against Swansea, of course. Now, these two sides played each other 15 times since 2005. Of course, it's heavily in favour of Swansea, but this is a different Barnsley these days. Of course, they played each other in since 2005. 8 victories for Swansea, 1 win for Barnsley, and 6 draws of the two sides. There was a racking 11-goal Bobby Dazzler between these two sides at some stage over the past 15 years. Of course, 6-5 win for Barnsley. But 2-0 win was the biggest win for Swansea over Barnsley in those years. In total, Barnsley scored 18 goals over Swansea, whether they returned with a 32 goal return. They actually picked up around about 2.13 goals against Barnsley whenever they played in those last 15 matches, and Barnsley have actually scored 1.2 goals as well. During the last 7 meetings with Barnsley playing at home, Barnsley have actually won 0 times. They've actually been 4 draws, while Swansea have actually won 3 times, with a goal difference of 13-7 in the favour of Swansea. Of course, Barnsley do come into this in a good bit of form, winning 3 of the past 6 games. As for Swansea, they've actually come into this on winning 2 of the past 6 games, with a form of around about 50%. Barnsley nick it with of course 58%. Swansea, though, finishing above them in the table. We'll examine that in a little bit of detail, of course. The last 6 in all competitions, all venues, of course, I believe. This is 4 wins for Swansea, nothing for Barnsley, and 2 draws last round, of course. In Barnsley was a 2-0 win for Swansea with Ben Cabango on score, Jamal Lowe as well. They also played this season in Wales. It was a 2-0 win as well with Jamal Lowe on the score sheet, with Victor Atabajojo getting a big fat OG heading into this. Of course, the last 6 in Barnsley, though, still no wins for Barnsley over Swansea, so it's going to be something that they're going to have to do the hard way in the end. Of course, I'm trying to look at anything positive, and there's not really much to say about that recent run. But of course, Barnsley under Ismail Valerian, it was a completely separate beast from Barnsley under any other manager. This is something special, and I do hope that they can get over the line. They are the bride. They are the Cinderella here, always working hard, grafting away. Of course, favourites for relegation in a lot of people's eyes at the start of the season, but this time around they've done something special, and I'm hoping they can go over the line for the fairy tale that is their season. Let's take a look at the goal scoring stats then. Of course, Collywood Rowe has done fantastic with 12 goals this season, but one guy's done even better, is Daryl DK with a 9-goal return. Bit of a rusty start out of 19 matches. Not too shabby, boys and girls. Not too shabby indeed. 0.47 goal return on that's the highest amongst everybody in this pack here. Alex Mowat is also a fantastic player. Probably been people keeping an eye on him as well. As in Colton Morris also done fantastic. Michael Helich as well. I've heard rave reviews from him as well as a defender. Scoring 5 goals in return. As for the opposition, Andre Ayew's got 16 goals to his campaign. Jamal Lowe's got 14 as well, with Conor Hunane's got 5 on loan as well from a 19-goal return, a 19-game return. Conor Roberts with 5 as well. Ben Cabango as well as wingers, wing-backs, whatever you want to call it as well. So goals spread out quite evenly over the two sides. Of course, Swansea rely heavily on Lowe and Ayew. Of course, they're not firing, then I think they might struggle. But DK is a game changer, most likely to start from the bench, perhaps. We'll see about that. So they've got quite a few. You've got Connor Chaplin, he can score goals. Cam Styles also a bit savvy as well. Mount with a free kick, dead ball. It's going to be an interesting game, this. Anyway, heading into this, of course, Barnsley's last 6 home matches, of course, just 1 defeat the past 6 games. That was against Sheffield Wednesday. On the flip side, just 1 defeat the past 4 for Swansea heading into this. That was against Watford, a 2-0 loss on the final day of the season. In fact, back-to-back away games for Swansea without a win. Of course, look at the situation in the table. Of course, Swansea did finish in 4th. Barnsley finished in 5th. Of course, 2 points separate the two sides overall. Barnsley's home form losing just 5 the whole season. Swansea losing 7 on the road as well. Of course, their journey though, Barnsley are the hollow. Yeah, their miserable start. Of course, then they changed their manager probably around about here, I would suggest, or maybe even probably around about here. Game over. Tremendous climb, absolutely phenomenal climb. That's the sort of stuff your Bitcoin's made of. That sort of shit's just rising, and they've done tremendous. I just kept on waiting for the wheels to fall off, but they never fell off. tremendous rise. I thought they would finish off around about 12, and I thought, you know what, that's a tremendous season. But to finish in the playoffs, that's batshit crazy. If they finish in the Premier League, holy smokes. Anyway, of course, Swansea have been up and thereabouts the whole season. Of course, bridesmaid last year, never really made over the line. Of course, they've been there or thereabouts the whole season. Barely dipped out of the playoffs once, on one occasion, match day number 13. Of course, the bookies odds 6-5 for Barnsley for the victory. They are your favourites for the first leg. Of course, 5-2 is your Swansea on the away leg, or I mean for the away team. At 21-10 is your draw. For me though, on this one, I'm going to go with a 2-1 for Barnsley to break the hoodoo, and of course get over the line in the first. That is of course just the first legs. Of course, we'll be back for the second leg. In the second leg, we'll bring you bang up to date with the prediction league. Of course, see who is either winning or just about to win, or on the cusp. Of course, we'll be covering this game as well. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a watch along. I don't know. It won't be as adventurous as my end of the season spectacular if I do something. I probably won't. I've got a lot on my plate the next week. I've got a study I've picked up again. I'm also going on the road at the back end of the next week, so I probably won't do anything special, to be fair. But anyway, be sure to give the video some love, smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again very soon. Until then, though, I'll see you soon for the next second leg. Until then, I'm out.